Welcome to the Big and Small Podcast, coming to you from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Just a couple of guys drinking some beers, having some chow, and talking all things sports.
Good.
All right, boys, we're up to episode 74. Do we do something special for the 75th? That's my question. I don't know. 75. 75. 3/4 of a century.
I like it.
So we got to do something. What do you think, Doug?
Yeah, I'm in.
Maybe.
Super Bowl Shuffle pregame show.
Yeah. You do that, Doug? You swing that, baby?
Oh, yeah, we're doing we're shuffling. Don't
Actually,
you worry about
though,
that.
We can't do it the day of the shuffle.
Plus, it's 2 weeks out, right?
No, more than that. Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Right. Anyway, get them up. Episode 74. About to start. A little gold coming your way right now.
Thank you to all our wonderful viewers. Hope you're plowing through this brutally cold weather and getting closer to February, which only gets us closer to March. Doug, what do we got?
I think we had 5:04 tonight on the sunset.
I know. I don't know how you get out of bed in the morning, Rick, with it being so cold.
I got my jacket, my long jacket. It's awesome. Saving me.
All right, let's start it up with some Celtics.
Okay.
So we're 31-13 overall, 6-4 in your last 10. I think these guys are counting down the days to February 12th because that is when the All-Star break is going to be.
Was that like a week?
8 days.
Yeah.
8 calendar days. And if I was... Do you think there's any chance in hell that, like, Tatum, like, doesn't go?
He's going to have, like, a mystery injury?
Yeah, they're like, sorry, I can't go, and just take the 8 days to just a little R&R.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. He's in...
There's no chance.
He's Mr. I want to be... He knows he's Mr. I want to be the MVP, but you can't really do that if you want that, right? Can't skip the All-Star game.
He's definitely not.
But did you see the other day they were having a debate on Stephen A. Smith's show there about the All-Star game and the dunk contest in general? And Stephen A.'s position, which I totally agree with him, he said, get rid of the whole thing. It's a complete waste of everybody's time.
I think they're doing a whole new format this year for the first time.
For what?
They're like mini games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sort of like what they do at the NHL.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like
3-on-3,
like 4 teams.
Oh.
And so you play like a round robin, like first like whatever. I don't know exacts, but we might want to talk about that when it's coming up because I'm almost 100% they changed the format or it's been proposed. And he's like mini games and they first went to 11.
I would love that.
Something like that. Much more. They think maybe it'll be more competitive. Obviously, that's the idea.
I would like that.
The question
like backyard, backyard stuff.
Yeah, I don't see Jaylen Brown. I don't know if they'll do the slam dunk contest again.
I don't think so
because I think he's got something bothering him.
Yeah,
he was so bad. You guys didn't watch it, but he was so bad last night. It was.
He had 25 though.
He got points right, but the rest of his game, it was bad. Turnovers. The end of the game, he single-handedly almost pulled the game.
Wow.
And he's just been up down. He played good well against Golden State, but he needs to get out of this funk. Like they were saying on talk radio, one of the guys saying they think he has a little bit of a hip issue that's been bothering him, and then he's still a little shaken up by the house break-in.
Oh.
But we need to get him back on track. Him and True got to get back on track.
Here's a rumor for you that I heard from a business perspective, because they're doing bids now for the Celts, and rumor has it that the Red Sox are involved and shit, which God help us. But
they're not. They came out today.
They're not. They were saying that in order to make a deal work, because of the payroll and the luxury tax, they would have to unload like a Jaylen Brown. So don't be surprised if they trade him to like Houston.
I wouldn't be surprised because I don't think Jalen's happy here.
Yeah,
they're winning. Yeah, they're winning, but I think he cares what I'm starting to see a little bit more the more I watch. I think he cares more about being the guy than playing second fiddle.
Yeah. I mean, if they can get,
but he's still one of the guys. I don't. We went through this last year, and they obviously proved that completely, unequivocally, ridiculously wrong. There's something else wrong there. Now, Missoula, obviously, they're trying to rush guys, do this, what the combos are, but they did mess around with the rotations. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Missoula switched them back. You saw it this week. So they're totally different, the rotations, who's out when and all that stuff. Like last night, he did a great job because he played Springer. You didn't see it, so to talk.
No, but I saw the highlights. Springer played like 20 minutes.
So I forget the name of the guy who was like running the show for the Clippers. Plus, the Clippers were shorthanded last night.
Yeah.
But the kid running the show is very good. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he was murdering. Get the ball going by, boom, boom. And he brought that kid in. He's unbelievable defensively.
Unbelievable athlete.
I mean, he changed the whole dynamics of the game. Then they were up 6 with like 40 seconds left. Brown with this ridiculous turnover, boom, they capitalized. Then inbound play. They throw it to, they're in their own end and throw it into the corner. A total no-no. Now, Brown gets doubled. He panics, flips it out to like center court. Tie game.
Ugh.
Then Springer ended up bombing 2 threes to win it in overtime.
Wow.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting to see. But Porzingis didn't play. True didn't play.
Al didn't play.
But, yeah. I just
so that to me that's a load management game.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers were shorthanded.
But why isn't Tatum taking the load management game? Like, go sit one down, Jason. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's an MVP thing for him. I do. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But it feels like he wants to be the MVP. So he's playing every game.
If he's always done that.
I know he has.
He doesn't get hurt.
I know he is.
He's in shape. He's young.
Yeah.
You don't need it. Management is for guys like Porzingis, who's always hurt. Wolford, who's 100 years old. Holiday's definitely hurt. White's been hurt. Brown's been hurt throughout his career for stretches. But he loves to play basketball. And like I say, come on, really? You play, it's a pro game. You live in luxury hotels, luxury planes, eat the best food, workout rooms, massages.
That's what they show.
And I'm like, really?
They show,
take a break when you're digging ditches all day.
They show like Kevin McHale and those guys from back in the day. They're like, load management. What's that?
Never heard of it. People would be pissed.
Yeah.
You play those tickets and guys are healthy scratches.
Yeah.
And you're going to a game. I mean, people would have went ballistic in the day. I mean, it's how soft the professional athletes become.
Right. No, you're right.
Especially in regular
and just the style of living was different. Like those guys were getting off the courts and they're smoking a pack of cigarettes and drinking 15 beers. They're not going into hydrotherapy and all this other shit.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right, baby.
Depending on the sport, but it's just and it was frankly in the regular season, and if we're going to talk in the day of McHale and Bird, it was a much more physical overall game.
1,000%.
So that wear and tear is a little bit different, but
Kevin Garnett even came out and said on a podcast recently, it was just like, he's like, even take the best players in the game right now. He's like, you wouldn't even be on the bench 20 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You're pretty good athletes.
There's so much better athletes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
fundamentals and stuff. Yeah, I agree with them. Like, no one could shoot a mid-range jumper anymore.
Yeah, that type of stuff. I think just the overall fundamentals.
I heard an interesting take though. What do you think of this? Because everybody's sick of all the threes. Did I mention this before? And they come up. Wiggy from WEEI. He had a great idea. I thought. He said only
Wiggy,
make
the worst Brockton High School football coach.
Oh,
There.
I know. But he had a good idea, I thought. He said, "Why if the NBA made 3-pointers only active, only worth 3 points in the last 5 minutes of each half, that would be like the 80s, you know? Because they didn't shoot threes unless they needed to catch up back then.
No, we could have. And some teams did.
Not in the 80s.
Yeah, but it's
not
just,
as much. I mean, they'd take like maybe 5 a game. Now they're taking 50.
yeah, because the league loves offense, just like the
Yeah,
NFL. It just loves offense.
It's not offense. There's a worse percentage. You're watching more missed shots than ever.
Yeah, but when it hits, you know what I mean? Like when they hit, it's like, oh, fucking awesome! Like how much, you know what I mean? Like the league loves offense.
Oh yeah, but they're always like offense. There was more offense then.
They average like 120
Like
points
the
a game.
Phoenix Suns used to average like 140 points. The West was ridiculous. There was zero.
They play defense.
Until they go through it. You know, like it's the game is the game. You know, if it's all. If somebody wants to, if somebody wants to think this is the best way to win, that's the best way to win. I don't agree with it. I think you get in big trouble. You look at the Celtics this year. Golden State lights out, boom, blow them out.
Yeah,
but they're in close games. They labor because they don't have go-to plays that instead of getting with their talent to get the easy two, they aren't designed that way, and they keep it interesting. I mean, you look at the games they've lost recently; they just turtled down the stretch without the big lead, and that's a problem. And until Team C, but you know they didn't do that when it came playoff time.
No,
so. That's why the NBA is the NBA. But
they may end up on defense in the playoffs. They're not really playing great defense now.
No, it's gotta, like we said, they just got to be healthy going into the playoffs. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. All right, what's next, Dougie? We're gonna talk about the debacle that's turned into that is the Bruins.
So at the end of the day, like they are a good team, but they're still 5.5 games back for the Cavs.
Yeah, Cleveland having an outrageous year, but you know.
But it's also not even the All-Star break.
Yeah,
you know, the All-Star break's not for another 3 weeks. February 12th.
But they might not have the number one seed. But
all you gotta do is win one game on the road against Cleveland. That's it.
Yeah. You know, if Cleveland could get upset to boot, but who knows? It's like happened last year with those guys.
Yeah, but that's all that means is you're the 2 seed. You win one game on the road.
But you kind of there's no way you weren't going to with some guys who in the position they're in. Well, he's got to figure out these rotations. We talked about this, but there's gonna be like Kerr said it right the other night. There's gonna be a letdown.
Yeah,
they've played. That core of that team has played a ton of basketball.
I know. I've been saying
it's not like they didn't make the playoffs every year. They've been in a good long run for probably half a decade now.
Yeah,
it's a lot of games, you know, and
that's why Tatum should take a day off once in a while.
You know, but you know, it is. We'll see. We shall see.
Bruins. For the ice. 23-20, 3 games over 500. They're on the second game of a back-to-back tonight. You got Ottawa, Montreal, and Boston all tied at 52 points. Here is my biggest question. Should they indeed be buyers at the trade deadline or just pack it in?
I mean, I don't think they should. I don't think they're going to be buyers, but I think they should look for a trade that's gonna, rejuvenate them a little bit. I'd trade a McAvoy. I'd trade, somebody like that has value that you can get not only draft picks, but maybe, a young guy that's got promise.
I heard, was it yesterday?
I mean,
see what you can get for Marchand.
Yeah, he's definitely on the table, I would say. And,
which is tough. I mean, that's it. Which is tough because that's your captain.
But Milbury was talking about it today, and he's like, I don't get these no trade clauses because you're at the end of your career. The team you're on is obviously not a Stanley Cup winning team. So why not go play like Book did for, an Edmonton or somebody that's a piece away and you're the piece, And a Dallas, an Edmonton, a Florida type team. Not that you want to go to Florida, but Tampa. You're a piece that could get them over the hump, and you got to stay on the cup. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to move your family or anything like that. Live in a hotel.
But he doesn't want to play in the league one more year.
Right.
Bork basically went as a rental. He retired.
Yeah. So when does Marchand want to?
You know what I mean? Marchand, I'm sure, plans to play at least this year and at least a couple more.
He's 36.
So it's a matter of if you accept the trade, you're gonna have to decide. All right, now I got to move my family. I got to do this. I got to do that. And he's got enough money. He doesn't need to do it. I wouldn't accept it.
No.
If it was like a quick rental type thing, and you're coming back,
yeah,
maybe. I
don't know what his contract status is.
But he's got a no trade. I think McAvoy does too.
Yeah. No, I mean in terms of like how many years he's got left.
But no, we talked about this before. Every single guy on the Bruin roster to me is tradable, except for unless you got a huge package for Swayman, because last night they should have been losing 5-0 after the first period.
Yeah.
And Pasternak you cannot trade. I mean, you just can't find those type of goal scorers.
Right.
It's out of control what he's doing for scoring. Everybody else on that team is tradable. It's just they don't have much value.
This is the last year of his contract.
Yeah. So yeah. So
Marchand, I think he's an unrestricted free agent next year.
So that might be attractive.
They might work with him. Yeah. That situation might be like, hey, go with them. We'll get a deal, and then we'll already have in place a deal for you to come back.
Right.
A 2-year deal for whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He's made $72 million in his career.
Yeah, it's a hell of a place. Probably a Hall of Famer.
Definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But I think the guy who has the most value, though, in my opinion, is McAvoy, because he's young, and someone's still going to look at him as a top 4 defenseman, no question. Hard to come by, young, and you're there. The Marchand thing, how much you giving up for a rental?
No, probably not much.
You know what I mean? So it's different. It's a different. It's got to be like some of these other younger, which they don't really have. They have no dynamic. You couldn't give away Lindholm right now.
No.
You're in a situation with someone who probably takes the door off, though he just signed him a huge deal. But he's your only defenseman, in my opinion. They're ripping him on talk radio today as being told something like, well, he's the best defenseman.
Yeah.
It's not enough for the bill. Everybody else is soft. I don't. Who else has value? Somebody would take Zaka, but they're not giving up a ton for him.
I think Lowry's got a little value.
Lowry's a young guy. I think he's got some. So I don't know. They keep saying you buyers or sellers. What are you selling?
Right.
It's fine. You can say you're selling, but if you can't get anything in the sale, what does it matter?
True.
If you want to sell your house for $1 million and it's only worth $5 million, you know, sell. It's not. Unless they get, and I don't know of any marquee name prospects. I mean, Patriots you can't even put in that list. They're going to be in a situation where you're going to be, for a while, in my opinion, it's a matter of they're retooling strictly through free agency and can't miss like they did brutally bad with Lindholm. Well, he might have some value. He's played pretty well.
Did you give a Frederick?
Yeah,
I would, but I don't think. What's he going to get for him?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's he'll fight, he's tough and all that, but no one's all looking for Trent Frederick as an enforcer.
The other thing, though, like if you look at the draft the last couple of years, like the kid that came in for Chicago, when am I drawing a blank?
Bernard.
Last year, number 1 pick. Bedard. Yeah. He hasn't figured it out yet.
He's young.
Hughes is good. He's been there for like 3-4 years now. His older brother's good, but he's, probably six years. But, the kid Hughes on New Jersey, he's solid, but he wasn't the guy that was coming in the league. Celebrini?
He's good. He's had a good year, Celebrini.
Yeah, he's probably been the best out of like number 1 picks. Recently.
Yeah.
Recently. So, there's a lot of those guys that I look. That kid Will Smith. That kid was just a killer in college. And he's got like 7 goals this year. So, but you could get a guy like that might develop, and turn into that goal scorer.
But you can't miss as bad as they've been missing. That's the problem. It's because to your point, those are considered can't miss, Connor McDavid types, and those are like once in a generation. Right. I was explaining to Lisa last night during the game, like how the Bruins in that era of when they were really good, real good, like with Bork and Neely and all those guys, even just before that, they would have won Stanley Cups. It's that they happened to go year after year, and they were right with them. 4 consecutive outrageous dynasties. Right. Like Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky. You had to get through the Edmonton,
Mike
Pittsburgh, Islanders, and Montreal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. But that's how good those teams are. Such underrated hockey teams. But
they were there every year.
I just don't know what they can get. Let's say they're buyers, how do you get them? You're going to have to give up draft picks again, and hopefully you get the guy. It would be like trying to pick up Marchand,
right?
Who's at the end of his contract, and he's going to literally be getting into a rental and hope he can sign them.
Well, they screwed up, and even guys on the team, they've been on like podcasts and shit. The 2 years ago when they lost to Florida in the first round, they were like, "That was the year. We should have won the whole thing."
Yeah,
and even guys on that team were like, "We blew that. We blew that."
They should have. They blew a bunch of them.
That was the team, but that was the team that year.
Yeah, but even going back, they should have won back to back.
Like St. Louis and Chicago.
Oh my God, St. Louis losing to those stiffs.
Yeah,
brutal. But unfortunate. Like I said, they'll be forever 500. But you look at those standings, Dougie. It is talk about NHL parity. Oh my God, loving it. Basically every single team before the All-Star break,
like this is
still alive.
This Ottawa game is a big.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing they were saying too. Is like how the division is. It's like every single game right now in this part of the season means something.
Yeah,
100%. There's like every team. I was going over this last night. It's like every single. It's crazy.
The Rangers are starting to play better now. Montreal's right there.
Even Detroit's at 47 points. Bruins are at 42, and they've played 2 more games. 52.
52, yeah.
The only teams that ahead, Toronto, 62, 59. That goes Florida, 59. Then 53, 52, 52, 52, 47. That's just in the Eastern Conference. It's unbelievable. Then you go to the Metropolitan, 69, Washington's rolling, 61, Carolina, Jersey's a good club. And then it goes 53, 50, 50, 48. I mean, every single, even Buffalo's at 46. Every team is still alive, except probably I would say Buffalo. Even the Islanders is alive with 45 points. And they've only played 46 games.
Yeah.
And that is parity. So it's like, you just got to hopefully these guys come back. You get some guys back if they can get, healthy. And I don't know what you can get at the trade deadline. It's going to be interesting what they do. I think they're going to dangle people, though, my personal opinion, Doug.
I think they will dangle Marchand and they will dangle McAvoy. I really
see what they can get.
I do. I think they will.
But
hey, beat the hell out of those two. That was the longest chat we've had about those two teams in a while.
But I'll tell you, the closing with them, though, the biggest thing is the coaching. How is it possible to have this bad a penalty kill and this bad a power play? Did you watch some of the game last night?
I did.
Did you see them on the penalty kill when they embarrassed themselves? No one's skating.
No,
they just stand there. You got to penalty killing. The number one thing you got to be doing is moving your feet.
Yeah.
Stop, boom, boom, pop, pop, chop. They just stand there. The guys pick up the puck and they're like, "Oh, this is great." I said, "Now you got to pass the puck through 4 cones to a wide open net."
What's the number one thing, Dougie, in hockey that you want to take away and get? I'll give you a hint. Time and space.
Oh, I was going to say shots and rebounds.
No, time and space. That's hockey. Hockey's all about time and space. Giving and taking.
And the number one thing in hockey these days, this is at any level, from prep school to college to pro. Special teams wins and loses your games. And the Bruins would have made them so successful in recent history. Unbelievable PK. and very, very strong power play.
Yep.
And you could just hang in there with good goaltending, take advantage of those situations.
But what's the common denominator in those two things that are not here anymore?
Patrice Bergeron.
Patrice Bergeron, the number one thing that we lost and is actually a glaring hole in this team.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. All right, Douglas, what's next? Oh, speaking of hockey, what do we get? The women's Beanpot semis were Monday, right?
Yeah.
Northeastern won, and who won the other one?
Northeastern beat BU, and I think BC beat Harvard.
That's what I thought, too. I just want to give a shout out to the girls. Ready to go?
Skylar Irving from Kingston, Mass. scored an empty netter for Northeastern.
Another college note while we're talking about it, just today came out the Division III college baseball national rankings.
Saw that.
Ranked number 3 in the country, your Endicott College Gulls. But even more interesting was Salve Regina, which was in the World Series last year. Very good team. They're ranked number 2.
I saw that.
She's done a nice job down there. Both those coaches have done great jobs. But out of the top 25, they're the only 2 New England teams ranked.
See, this is a bit of good news you will not hear on Boston media. So look, rewind. We're going to rewind 1 minute. So Northeastern won the Beanpot, women's Beanpot. Beat BU.
Oh, I thought it was.
Nope, Northeastern.
That was the final?
Yep, Northeastern beat BU 4-0. It is their 20th Beanpot win, the most win of any teams. They also doubled down and had a record crowd of 13,000 people, which is the biggest crowd in 46 years, turn out at the Garden Forum.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is good.
It's funny. The Northeastern men have had better success in the last decade. It was the opposite.
Yeah.
They never won it. But yeah, good for the girls. I didn't get to watch any of that, but that's a great take. It's a great take, especially for anybody. But when Gracie was playing and stuff, it was great. You lock in with her team and all that stuff, and watch the pro league and all that. Which that's got a nice format to it too.
Yeah, it does. I don't think the guy from down the Cape, I don't think he's coaching them anymore.
Did you see the woman, Gigi Marvin, who's on the Bruins broadcast now sometimes? You've seen her?
Yeah. I have seen.
She was an unbelievable player. She was a part-time coach, assistant coach at BB&N for a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, awesome player. Really nice. I think she does a nice job on the
yeah, she does. She knows what she's talking about, for sure.
Yeah.
Monday, February 3rd kicks off the men's Beanpot.
Yeah, so always the first Monday. I'll be getting a call. You coming up, Rick? I'm like, yeah, no. I used to love it. When I lived in the city, life was a lot different. But that's a long evening.
All right, Patriots. You got a DC, Terrell Williams. You got an OC, McDaniels. You got a safety who's on trial for domestic abuse and drugs. What do we do?
Life in the NFL.
That's it. Well, whatever you need.
Well, I'll guarantee you this: Peppers will be cut, no matter what happens.
Think so?
100%. Vrabel is cleaning. He's going to be cleaning house with some of these tips. Trust me.
What's going on with the draft? I had Carter penciled in number 4, but I'm hearing something different now.
Hold, please. I'll tell you right now.
I'm hearing he might go higher than number 4, Carter, which means that get Henry Shador and Cam Ward. Somebody is not going to take one of those quarterbacks.
I wouldn't take Cam Ward. He's not number 1 draft pick material.
Well, it might be number 3 draft pick material.
I agree with you, Doug. I don't know. Unless someone's thinking they maybe going to trade for like a Kirk Cousins or something like that. But those teams, I mean, is Deshaun Watson coming back?
No, he's got another Achilles problem.
I know.
He just re-ruptured it.
Year as well.
Yeah, he just re-ruptured it like
so
2
they don't
weeks
have
ago.
a quarterback. You can't start your season with Jameis Winston as your quarterback.
No.
The Raiders don't have a quarterback.
Nope.
Unless Aaron Rodgers if Rodgers doesn't go back to the Jets, they're gonna have to take quarterbacks. They have to.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. And Hunter.
CBS Sports right now has Cam Ward going 1, Carter going 2 to the Browns, Shador going 3 to the Giants, Travis Hunter number 4 to the Patriots.
That would be great. I'd love that. No chance it's happening, but I would love that. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, good for them if they're gonna go get a pass rusher. But
They get Hunter, and you put him with Gonzalez. I mean, I could be a pass rusher for that team.
Well, that was what we talked about this prior. So I said to go, and they're both so young.
Right.
You could have lockdown corners, and have a little package from an offense.
And they got Duggar on safety. I mean, he was hurt last year, I think. He'll be healthy. He'll be back.
They need a bona fide free safety, though.
Yeah, they need a McCourty.
They got to get that. They need a linebacker.
They could get that in the second round, third round.
My whole take is if he's available at 4, now the pass rusher, I would be all over.
Yeah.
But if he's sitting there at 4, or it's the best possible offensive tackle, and you take the tackle, everybody should get fired tomorrow.
100%.
There's 0 franchise tackle in the
No, there is not. You're right.
I would also entertain trading down. But if you don't, just for whatever you decide, you could decide to take Hunter and not worry about a receiver. Just play receiver.
Yeah.
He's a ridiculous receiver. I mean,
I know.
He's tough, he's smart, he flies, he's dynamic, he fills that void. Then go spend your money on your tackles. Go spend your money on, plenty of other needs. I'm not anybody talk about. They have no linebackers. Bentley's going to come back from a season-ending injury. They have 0 inside linebackers. That's why the defense was so freaking bad this year. You can't play football without inside linebackers.
Well, did you watch the Buffalo game last week? The speed they have on that team?
Oh, my God.
That's what they need. They need to draft speed.
Yeah.
Draft speed.
I think the whole thing's about Hunter is what he really says he wants to do with teams. Like if he wants to be prioritized, number one thing I'm doing is corner, you're all over it. If he's saying I want to do both all the time, you got a problem already in your hands. If he says I want to primarily be a receiver and I can go in a situational corner or nickel or whatever, then you say, let me think about it.
Do you trade draft capital for Tyreek Hill?
No.
I don't like it either.
Massive cancer on this team.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think Vrabel would want a guy like that.
No. He's going to get A.J. Brown.
Either A.J. Brown would be great, but I like DK Metcalf, Dougie. I brought that up a month ago, and now they're talking about it finally.
Oh, yeah. But A.J. Brown and Vrabel have a really good relationship.
Yeah, I know.
That was the whole breakup of Vrabel at the end of the day when they got rid of Brown.
Right.
And he was bullshit. And then
that would be great. I mean, you got May. They're also still talking about trading Milton, which I think would be the biggest mistake ever.
Stupid.
You got two cheap guys.
Those guys.
2 cheap guys on rookie contracts.
If McDaniels can't be creative with that,
he should be fired tomorrow.
Fired tomorrow. I mean, you could have a ball with those 2 if you use them.
Yeah, all day long.
And the difference is they're going to both run the same offense.
And not only that, but doing that type of offense automatically makes the steps on the line better.
Wait a minute.
All you got to do is bring in some real talent. You got Caden Wallace coming back from injury, Cole Strange coming back from injury. Get a good draft pick. I mean,
yeah, they'll run Milton and May will run exactly the same offense.
Yeah,
no problem. So it also helps if somebody gets hurt or dinged up, which most likely May will. There's a huge difference if the dynamic of running RPO is freaking what the hell's his name? Brissett or Milton. I mean, It's totally different.
Right. No, I mean it's clear cut. If they get rid of Milton, I'd be so disappointed because he fits the mold perfectly for both guys to run the same shit. I mean, it's so obvious. It's not even funny.
On another note, did you guys? I think I sent you guys a text, but the 2 picks in the Washington game with Jayden Daniels, as advertised, as we said, the big and small. I think we all agreed, but I unequivocally said he's the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
But the kid who had the 2 big picks, Sandstrom, is played at Everett High School.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he went to Michigan, big star in Michigan, hell of a player. And on same team in high school, they were loaded. This is right at the end of DiBiaso's time. Is Likely, the tight end from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Same high school team in Massachusetts.
That's some talent.
Yeah.
That's some talent.
Supposedly Big Bill was in town recruiting at Severian today.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Signed his contract.
Wow, he did?
Yeah, signed his contract with Chapel Hill.
I'm actually interested to see Belichick be a college coach. To me, that's interesting. To me, that brings, exposure to the ACC a little bit. It kind of elevates them, whether he does or he doesn't, but it's going to give them more exposure, more TV time, and I think that's what they wanted.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's why the commissioner was really upset. If he still ends up there, he's now locked in, but he can still.
Now it's a $10 million buyout.
Unless it's after June 1.
Then it's $1 million.
Yeah.
But if he leaves after June 1, how could you screw those kids that you're recruiting right now?
If someone hasn't offered him, either he's told he's out of it, he doesn't want to go to the NFL. But if he hasn't been offered a job in the NFL yet, it isn't happening anyway.
I agree.
Do you find it surprising that he hasn't been offered one?
I'm surprised that he hasn't figured something out with Jerry Jones, because I think that would be the best place.
Like out of the 7 coaching vacancies that there are right now, not a single one of them picked up the phone and called Bill Belichick.
They might have. You don't know. I don't know. I mean, would you hire Bill Belichick as a pro coach?
Yeah, why
not? You would?
Yeah, why not?
I think it all depends on. I would be opposed if he was hired, but I think it depends on what he was demanding.
Right.
Yeah.
I sure hell wouldn't give him full control. No chance. And he'd have to go back to a system as a legitimate GM. I'm not giving him my $1 billion franchise. Jerry Jones would never do that anyway.
Right.
That's why that wasn't going to work. Unless Bill said, no problem. I just want to coach football. I want to break the record. Do whatever you want around me.
Right. Well, what do you think of Dion going to Dallas?
I don't know. I hope he doesn't, because the same thing about college football. I love what he's done with Colorado. Yeah. I think that's a fun program. They've got some unbelievable talent coming in. I'd way rather watch Colorado Buffalo football with him there and college football than Dallas, because I could care less about the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just don't know if they can do it. I don't think he's going to ball. I don't think he'll go there.
No, I don't either. I mean, it sounds like they make more money. They don't really.
I can see him going somewhere where it looks like, Shador could end up.
And it's a way harder job in the pros than it is in college, I think. Just because you have so much staff. A guy like Dion to walk into, high school and recruit and get guys he wants, where, free agents, it's all about money. It's all about location. Dion is a factor, but never really done it in the pros. So that would probably work against him.
I would say yes 5 years ago, but not with the NIL now. I think it's way harder for college.
You do?
I think it's way harder for college.
Yeah.
Always. Think Bill Belichick wants to be at Severian right now? He never did that before.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even go to the freaking, I think this weekend is the Senior Bowl. He wouldn't even go to that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be good, you're in living rooms, you're running around, you're on planes, you don't have automatics. You could think you have a guy lined up and boom, lost them. Then you throw the NILs in there, Doug, like you said. Totally different ball game, right? I mean, look at the.
Well, I think that's something like they really need to rein in this NIL. So like these guys are entering transfer portals like middle of the season, which means they're getting spoken to middle of the season. So this guy's go out and plays a game. All of a sudden, he's in the locker room. He's getting a phone call. Hey, come play for Georgia. We'll give you $5 million. All right, cool. I'll be there tomorrow. Like,
oh no, totally. I mean, there's got to be some. I think they're doing something in the Big Ten with it, but oh no, the NIL has definitely helped for leveling the transfer portal is really the thing that's helped level the playing field.
Yeah,
so the combination of transfer portal and the NIL, has changed the whole landscape of college football.
But what it's probably done also, I think, is the high school senior, unless you're that 5-star guy, you're going D2, D3. And where normally, you could have gone D1 somewhere. Those guys are not going. Like the D1 freshmen are not like it used to be. Like, why would you? Why would you recruit a freshman unknown when you have a guy that's going to be a junior that you have tape on, that you know how he performs at that level?
It depends on the guy.
Right, that's my point.
I mean, it's plenty of 4-stars. Like the kids from CM are all going,
Yeah.
But they're not, there's
they're going to like
5-stars.
Where are they going?
Definitely not getting like a.
They're going to FCS.
Like
FCS.
Yeah.
Just like URI.
No, like the running back, he's committed. All it's done at BC. Running back from BB&N's going to BC.
Are they're 4-stars?
They're probably the best 4-stars.
Oh. Well, BC's a little different,
but they're not the elite of the elite.
You have to academic.
A lot of guys they're going to still recruit the best guy, and then if they're going to what's happening in the IL is they're going to still go after the best players they think in high school. But what they'll do is you get a shitty junior, tell them that's to the portal.
Right.
You used to have to carry their ass.
Right.
So you tell them, so you got, that's like half of Colorado is in the portal right now.
Well, most of the
because he's still trying. He's still trying to at the beginning.
Yeah.
But he's still weeding them out, and they see what's coming in. The kid who's back quarter, I think the number 1 ranked quarterback in the country coming in. There's on a 2, the number 1 in the portal's coming, and the number 1 freshman in the country's coming. So it's like the dynamics just completely changed. I couldn't agree with you more, Doug. Though the pro coaches, come on, 90% of the time, all you're doing, you're not traveling a ton at all. All you're doing is watching tape. You've got a whole team scout with you. You don't have, frankly, near the pressure that look at Day. I mean, Day, he could have lost that national championship game and potentially got fired. I mean, that's insane. I mean, I felt good for the guy. I want Notre Dame, but I felt good for the guy afterwards for him because he's taking a lot of heat, and it's good a program
only because he can't beat Michigan.
Because you can't beat Michigan. That's the only reason he's taking heat.
He has never won a national championship.
Yeah, but they had so we'll transition this. We'll go to the national championship, who was won by Ohio State. The road he had to take, you had to go and you had to beat Oregon. Then you had to go and beat Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State, and then you had to beat Notre Dame for the national championship.
Yeah. No, did Notre Dame beat Penn State? Or Ohio State beat Penn State?
Did they beat?
Their first game was at home, which was a blessing.
Yeah.
And that was a joke, right? It was
they beat Oregon.
No.
No, and
on the road.
The Rose Bowl.
But Oregon hadn't played in a month. We talked about this.
Right. And then they beat I thought they beat Texas. Did they beat Texas, Dougie?
No, it was the first round was Clemson. Texas beat Clemson. Arizona State had the bye.
Oh no, Ohio State beat Tennessee
at home, and it was 5 degrees out.
Tennessee at home. Then Ohio State beat Oregon. Then they beat Texas. Then they beat Notre Dame.
Right.
Oh no, that's right. They hit it at the right time. They went on a roll after they were the best team. They deserved to win. But Notre Dame had a chance in that game. It was really too bad. Twice they had a good chance.
They had a good game plan. They were definitely out talented.
They fell apart defensively.
Notre Dame's defense was pissing me. They were so afraid to give up the big play that every snap of the ball, their defensive backs were just running back 10 yards, giving the best wide receiver in the country like a 15-yard cushion. Like, all right, dink it and dunk it all day. Who gives a fuck?
What if he decides to come out? Take him and flip pick? He's a freak.
I would.
What's his name? Ryan Smith? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Smith. Yeah. Crazy. He's like 19 years old.
And I heard he's a workaholic.
He's like, geez, he's gonna be another 10 pounds. Think about it.
Yeah.
He's crazy. No, my point is though, they came out great drive, then they just turtled defensively, boom, got beat up. Notre Dame, I give the coach everybody credit, battle back, as you know. But at the end, they're sitting there and they had the ball right there to go in.
Jeremiah.
To go in, and they had to kick the field goal, and the kid missed it.
Yeah.
They still get the stop. Now it's 3rd and long. Now they finally sold out, and the kid Smith smokes the guy. It's game over. So I was just disappointed watching because I was like, "Oh, this will be fun. At least they get a possession with some time left. They're going to need 8, but at least it'll be a fun last drive because the game was a complete bust until about 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Just like most of the games. Almost every game was a bust.
I know.
Very disappointed on my end.
Yeah, that was tough. And Notre Dame comes out and has 8. What was it? It was like 18 plays, 75 yards right down the field.
Yeah.
And then
quarterback ran like 15 times right up the middle.
And then couldn't do anything the rest of the game.
Till late in the game. They were good late. They played real well late. I forget the kid's name. They have a receiver who's dynamite. Street. He's very good. But they had a real good chance. And the kid missed the bunny freaking field goal, climbed it.
Yeah.
Which was disappointing because they should have put it in there. Would have been a difference.
Right.
Huge difference. But it ended up being a decent game late. But I mean, the scores were 30, first round, Texas, Arizona State. Oh, sorry.
That was a good game.
First round, Texas, Clemson, 38-24, never a game. Ohio State, 42-17 over Tennessee, never a game. Penn State, 38-10 over SMU, never a game. Notre Dame, 27-17 over Indiana, basically never a game. All at home. Every home team won. They got to get rid of that. Then Texas, Arizona State was a good game, 39-31. Ohio State blew out Oregon, 41-21, huge bust of a game. Penn State destroyed Boise, 31-24, huge bust. Notre Dame shockingly handled Georgia fairly easily, but there was no Carson back either. And then Ohio State over Texas was a two touchdown game. Notre Dame, Penn State was a good ball game.
Yeah. It was 2 good games the whole time.
Do you know what I think is funny, too, is that you had...
Gotta go to 16.
So the only thing that's funny, too, is you had, obviously, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Both their quarterbacks are seniors. I don't think either of them are NFL-caliber players.
No.
That's different, totally different schemes. That's like, it's not as dramatic. They're not Tim Tebow's, but it's like Tim Tebow never translated.
Right.
The scheme they ran.
Different game. It's a different game.
There's very few guys who are in it, even as young guys. Akers isn't going to be a first round pick.
Ewers, you mean?
Ewers, he isn't going to be a first round pick. I mean, I don't.
He transferred, didn't he?
I heard he's going to go in the draft.
Supposedly he's going to the draft.
I thought he was going to.
Oh no, I think he's going to Florida.
I thought he was going to Oregon.
No, it was Florida State, but then I heard he was going to go in the draft. I don't know where it ended up.
I don't know. They might be right, Doug. It might be Oregon. Check yours.
Yeah,
maybe. Oh, you know what? The Florida State was a kid from BC,
Castellanos. Yeah, I think he's going to Oregon, Doug. You're right. But my point is, there wasn't one quarterback in the draft. The only quarterback out of all those teams that played, there would be a first-round pick, didn't even start.
I know, man.
Yeah. Different game.
So, go back to the past for 1 second. You guys like the McDaniels hiring? What do you got, Doug? What do you got?
Rumor mill for Quinn Ewers right now is UNC.
Wow,
that's a riot.
That's great. Good for Bill.
Crazy.
Good for Bill. Anyway, do we like the McDaniels hiring?
Or he could go to Bama because
I like the staff
there.
Like the staff?
I'm happy with the staff. I think McDaniels, again, is not a good head coach, but he's a good coordinator. It's like I said before, if this is Kraft which I could. which I could just say, I don't think it's remotely possible that Vrabel was getting forced an OC down his throat by anybody. I think you would have said, thanks, but no thanks, the job.
Yeah, you don't think that conversation came up when he was getting
Brady
hired?
hired him in LA in a heartbeat.
Right. You don't think that conversation would have happened before he got hired?
There was rumored he was linked together anyway.
Right.
You know? So I don't see anything with that. They say, no, they have two big egos. They said, well, did anyone have a bigger ego than Bill Belichick? I mean, what are we talking about?
Right.
I mean, but I think him in that role as OC, he's always been solid. He's just not a head coach. And
I like him as an OC to create an offense that works. He's not the greatest play caller because we've seen a lot of shit. How many times we're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but that's everybody.
Yeah. But
come on, look what Detroit did last week. That was disgraceful. But
let's be happy. Maybe we'll see a fullback again, Dougie.
Yeah, I like it.
You know?
Yeah, they're going to system, but I like it. I think the staff looks good. They hired the right guy back. Kid did a good job with special teams.
Position coach, so.
No, yeah, but then they got the guy, what's it, Dave Terrell?
Terrell, yeah.
You know, he's a great
Terrell
guy.
Williams.
You know, did a good job with that D line, and they were banged up. Get him in there, and I don't think they hired an offensive line coach yet. That's a big on my list.
Huge.
They need a real offensive.
Huge.
But
redone until
I think they're on the right track. I mean,
they're going to be better than last year. Just by accident. They're going to be better. But people are like, this is what I can't stand. Oh, we think now there'll be 6-7 wins. It's like, are you watching what Washington has done? Like, all you need to do is execute, get the right guys in the right place, buy a little talent. No, you don't even need like top end shit. Buy some good talent, put a good scheme together, coach them, and you're a playoff team. Washington's on the verge of going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like this year, a year ago, they were a 4-win team, just like you. Like, come on, why are we talking 6-7 wins? The NFL is not that hard. It's not a puzzle. All you're gonna do is spend a little money and coach. That's it.
I say though, Jay Daniels, is that the greatest first round pick rookie season?
They don't forget about him. I mean, he's awesome, but like he's this. The guy's like $180, isn't he?
No, more money than that. We went through this when we went through.
No, but he's so small.
Like 195.
Oh boy,
he's tall and he flies.
I know.
He's like Lamar Jackson. Why are we strong?
He's better than Lamar Jackson.
No, I think he's better than what I'm saying. Body type.
Yeah,
I said that before. He's not small.
6'4", 210.
Yeah, correct.
Wow,
he's bigger than you think.
Bigger than thought.
But anyway, but that's Detroit. Talk about throwing up at home. The poor Detroit fan base, I felt terrible for him. I mean, that's horrible.
Well,
Goff threw up.
Goff got his head handed to him that if the same hit happened against Mahomes, the guy'd be in jail.
Yeah, well, it's one play. He also threw
I know.
4 picks, yeah.
Their offensive line was terrible, and that was an indictment on the OC, who's everybody wants is the guy. And
Ben Johnson.
He had some of the worst play calling I've ever seen. And he also didn't adjust at all to the pass rush on him. But Goff threw up. They threw up as a team, and those poor Detroit fans. I mean, you can't feel worse for any fan base than that. An original team, they sell out. They've never. They're the only team to never be to a Super Bowl.
I know.
If you don't count the Browns, because the Browns bounced around. I mean, trying to support they give, all that. It's like, just get them to the damn Super Bowl. You throw up that bad. Ugh.
All right, so predictions. What do we think, Dougie? We got Washington, Philly. We got Buffalo, KC. I mean, everyone's sentimental about, because Washington's such a great story. Washington. Philadelphia's just solid.
Saquon Barkley, how do you stop him?
They're just solid.
Guy just rushes for 200 yards a game for a joke.
Their offensive line's ridiculous. I mean, Hurts is, more than serviceable. They got weapons, on the outside. They got Barkley. I mean, and the defense is awesome. I mean, I wouldn't pick against Philly, even as good as Washington is.
Hurts is serviceable, but like he doesn't do anything.
He doesn't beat you. He doesn't make mistakes.
Well, he doesn't throw the ball.
Well, I mean, the guy behind you is running for 200. You really don't have to.
That's what I'm saying. But it's just like anybody can fucking do that.
No, because he's a run threat too, which is huge.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts is not.
And he can still air it out.
Hurts is, you know what? He's a Joe Milton with less of an arm.
Yeah, but he can air it out. Hurts can air it. Either way, I could agree. I always look at how
he only threw for 18 touchdowns.
Yeah, how many running?
Yeah, how many do you have running?
Tush push.
18, 5 picks.
So he's not beating you with turnovers.
Let's see real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rushing.
That's 32 total, Dougie. That's pretty good.
I mean, the tush push is a big part of it, but the fact of the matter is, they have the best running back in football. That's smart. I'd like to see that more.
Yeah.
People say you can't go win a Super Bowl, without somebody whipping it all over the field. But what did Josh Allen throw? How many yards did he throw for last week?
Not many.
What, 250?
Yeah, maybe
250 at home. I'm like, if you play good fundamental football, that's how you win. Offensive line play, the fullback in, running back.
Play defense.
Don't turn the ball over.
Play defense.
That's like Detroit. Switch roles. The other team turns it over 4 times, who wins?
Right.
Detroit. It's a simple game. Simple. I like both home teams. I think Kansas City goes back.
I hope not.
I hope the Bills win. But
I respect Mahomes. Mahomes is definitely, they're talking today. Stephen A. Smith said, if he gets 3 in a row, he's the best quarterback ever. It's like, let's not go there. Because is Mahomes going to have a 20-year career? No chance. I don't think.
no, I don't even know if he'll want him.
Right, but my point is, he's not going to perform at that level like Brady did for 20 years.
So that's what made Brady Brady.
That's the point.
Brady, he was to have that much. That's what you want to do, and that much focus, that much self. Bottom line, you can motivate yourself that much.
Yeah,
that takes a special person. There aren't many that can do it. But Mahomes wins 3. He's still only going to be 30.
Yeah,
he's got to play at least till he's 30.
He'll be 29 next year, 29 during the year, turning 30.
So
he's gone to 7 consecutive AFC championships. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
But I hope with Josh Allen, they get over the Buffalo fans.
And Kansas City's doing their best attempt at the Patriots by giving him less and less talent. Although, he has a way of making guys look good, like that first-round draft pick. The number one, the receiver they have, number 1.
Worthy.
He's like $170 soaking wet. He looks like a legit receiver.
Yeah.
And
you got a Hall of Fame tight end you throw to who is always open.
Yeah, I know. It's not like they got this burner on the outside, they got Worthy, but they don't have anyone.
There's a conspiracy. I thoroughly think that there's no real plays for Kelsey. It's just it's like backyard football. He blocks and he does it. Oh, okay, I'll run up 3 yards and just turn around and fucking sit there and wait for Mahomes to throw me the fucking ball. He's always fucking open. It's like they just don't cover fucking Kelsey ever.
You know who's an unsung hero for that team? Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, he's had a good run. No, but to your point, I agree with you. The thing with Mahomes is that besides Kelsey, he's got Juju out there making plays. He makes. Yeah, he's a freak. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over this week with the refereeing. Though, to be honest, there's definitely been so much scrutiny on it. I don't think Kansas City's getting too many calls this week as well.
Well, I don't think Mahomes is going to the sideline and slowing down this week.
So it's going to be interesting. But we'll see. What's your picks, Coach?
No, we're talking straight up. We're talking money line.
What's the line stuff?
I think it's 1.5, right? KC and Buffalo.
Yeah, KC -1.5, Eagles -6.
Right. I can't go against Philly. I gotta go Philly Buffalo.
I'm going
Just
Philly.
'cause-
I'm going Philly Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, they're just too good. I thought they were gonna I followed them this year, and I thought they were gonna kind of fold a little bit. They didn't. They got better. They got better as the year went along. Their offensive line is healthy, and they're the best in the business. And they're just unstoppable. They got too much depth, crazy depth.
Be a good tease bet for me. We'll take Washington with the 12,
12.
and take
Tease it up.
and
Buffalo,
then
you get Buffalo like plus 7.5.
correct. Then I'd go with the visitors, but lines as is. I'm taking both the home teams.
I think Eagles and Bills, and then I think Eagles beat the Bills in the Super Bowl.
Oh wow, that would be something. That'd be two crazy fan bases going at it in New Orleans, right? Is it in New Orleans?
Yeah,
I think it's a better story. Like I don't think anybody other than, which is tough to say because we did have a great dynasty run, but I don't think anybody other than Chiefs fans gives a fuck about a three-peat.
Well,
no, I think nationally people want Mahomes to be better than Brady. I think they do.
I don't know.
I mean, we're sick of Kansas City, and it's only been a few years. Patriots did it for 20 years. Imagine 20 years of that every year. It's like, oh.
Yeah, but I think it's a controversy surrounding Kansas City. It's like every single game there's multiple controversial calls.
I know. It's crazy.
And it's like you have Troy Aikman on the national broadcast saying something like,
I saw a play in a game where it was 3rd and 8. They run the play. They stop them. They stop them short of the first down. Kansas City runs their punt team on. Next thing you know, the refs get together and they say, the ball was never set. We blew the play dead before it started. And they reset it.
yeah.
Like even Kansas City was like, they thought the play was over. They were going to punt.
Yeah.
And the refs got together and said, no, the play was dead before it started.
So
it was replay assist on the spot. It was the better spot. It wasn't even debatable. The only bad call in that game might have been the roughing the passer, which is still technically the rule.
The second one. You're talking about the second one, right? When he was running around, they just decided to fall last second.
100%. That was a terrible call. Shouldn't have been made. Though by the rule, it's technically that's the difference in Brady's career. When Brady first started out, he was getting beat down. 90% of the new quarterback rules came in.
His first 5 years in the league, he got buried.
Yeah, exactly. And then they started changing the rules, so the quarterback rules are ridiculous. The other blown call was the offsides. Blatant blown call.
Oh, yeah.
On that. But outside of that, it wasn't like any flagrant pass interference. He's still a freak. And, I'm thinking of all the haters. It's like, blah, blah, blah. The Patriots wouldn't have beat him. If it wasn't for the guy. He could have easily missed that call. If everybody's saying it's fixed. When what's his name? The game was over, the AFC Championship, and the defensive end, was it D. Brown was his name? What was his name? From Kansas City? Game was over.
Yeah.
4th down.
Right.
And he lined up offside.
Yeah.
He was offside.
Yeah.
But you could have not called it.
Right.
It's basically the last play of the game. So there's been some breaks out there.
I know.
Like you could say, if they didn't call the tuck rule, nobody would have ever even brought it up afterwards.
No, you're right.
Nobody would have. Bottom line is, it was the rule.
Right. Everybody in the building, everyone in the country thought that was a fumble, including Brady.
Yeah, of course. I was eating Chinese food and everything. In my house, snow, my buddies. But anyway, don't be a hater. Let's see what happens. Maybe Josh Allen can pull it out. It's his year.
All right,
we got to move on. Run a league.
Up against it, as they like to say.
Yes.
When we go right to top 3.
Let's go.
Top 3 your personal favorite athletes of all time.
Personal favorite athletes of all time.
Favorite.
Any sport.
All
right. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to start. Personal favorite. Herschel Walker.
Really?
Yes.
Treated.
Yep.
From his college days?
The whole thing.
The whole
Yep.
thing. Okay.
The whole thing.
It's one of my favorite 30s.
From Herschel Walker, the Georgia running back, to Herschel Walker, the bobsledder.
Okay.
Phenomenal. Even to this day, he looks like he can still play. And he's in his mid-50s. Personal favorite.
No, I love Herschel Walker. I met Georgia. He was a freak. He was a good pro.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, he was involved with
He made the Dallas Cowboys. But
the biggest trade in
the
history.
biggest theft in history that the Minnesota Vikings handed over to Jimmy Johnson.
I know.
But his 30 for 30 is awesome. The Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
Especially when he came as a kid.
Right. That's what I mean. Stuttering. Now he's in politics.
I had probably for me, this goes back to when I was young, but I love them. Ozzie Smith. St. Louis Cardinals shortstop.
Yeah.
Gold Glover.
See, this is what I like about this, Doug.
They don't make them like that anymore.
It's not like the best athletes. It's the best impression on you.
He's the best defensive shortstop of all time.
Oh, yeah, it was unreal.
But that's why you probably never even saw This Week in Baseball, Doug, when it was
Twib
the only show. So back in the day, there's no ESPN. So the only show, for, like each week, there was This Week in Hockey, right? It was with Peter Puck.
Yep.
So you literally, like, it came on for one segment. It was probably like noontime on Saturday. This Week in Baseball. And then it was like the NHL, This Week in the NHL, Peter Puck. And even to see highlights like in the NFL, if it wasn't on your local news, it was only at halftime of the Monday night.
Monday night, right.
But you at the very beginning of it, you got to look it up sometime, Doug. So the scrunchies in it, so that so you'd be all jacked up because you never saw these guys unless they're in like the World Series and all that. Or that's why the All-Star game in Major League Baseball was huge back then because everybody was national and American, so it was a big game, and that's when you got to see him, and they were showcasing. And he's in the beginning of it every show. But some of the most ridiculous plays of all time.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So there you go, Dougie. What do you got?
Tiger Woods.
Love it. Tiger Woods.
Love Tiger. He just what he brought to the sport back then, how just dominant he actually was in his sport. And still even now, like when he declares for a tournament, the viewer, like I'm tuning in. I don't care if he's coming in dead last. Like I'm watching that tournament.
What I want to see next year is he's eligible to go to the Champions Tour. What he would do to that tour, like it would outview the PGA Tour. If Tiger decided to go to the Champions next year,
At the senior,
and
like
I bet he will.
Was it? You mean like the senior tour?
Yeah.
Talking to tired of somebody, I couldn't be more tired of Tiger Woods.
Really?
Exhausting.
Really?
He's not even good anymore.
No, he's not. So that's the thing I don't like about it now is that
It's over. He was unbelievable the day, Doug. I couldn't believe it, but now I am so. There is nothing I was. It's like LeBron James. Retired. Well, you're LeBron. It's done. You stink. You're gonna get blown out tonight.
So then we'll do this. So then we'll do favorite athletes of all time. Then we'll do like least favorite athletes of all time.
I like it.
But he's not my least favorite athlete. I'm just saying.
No, I understand.
He's on there on my list, I'll tell you that.
All right.
LeBron.
Yeah, my father would be. My father would be there with Tiger. That's for sure.
All right. So my number 2, Rick mentioned him a little while ago, but it was very strong. Back in the day when I was growing up, like you had to look at the newspaper, you had to look at the stats. Carl Yastrzemski, every year, was one of the top guys in the league. Every single year. And he was one of my favorite athletes.
Yeah, he was something in this town. He was, he wasn't like that thoroughbred athlete. But he was athletic.
He was athletic.
He could play first.
He always had numbers.
He was playing outfield. He was great in outfield and left. He could swing it from the left side.
He had that big.
He always was changing his stance. He was a fun guy. He's a true baseball player. Kind of like a hard worker.
Yeah.
Because I don't think much of his talent was just God given.
Who did he take over for Dougie and left?
Well, not forever.
No, he switched. No, when he was a rookie, he came in, took over for Ted Williams.
Was it Ted Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I was thinking 75 World Series he played left.
No,
It's Jim Ed Rice got
when he
hurt.
was a rookie, he came in and took over for Teddy Ballgame.
Teddy
He had
Ballgame,
Teddy Ballgame and Kyle Yastrzemski.
Fucking
Back to
Teddy
back.
Greatest
Ballgame.
rookie duo ever was Teddy, Jim Rice, and Freddie Lynn.
Freddie Lynn.
They would have won the World Series by accident because Yaz would have been playing first and Rice would have been in left, and they would have won it. It was a killer injury.
Yeah.
Killer. Anyway.
So the back of the day, Dougie. Go ahead, Rick.
I'll probably use some of these because I think we did it by sport once this. So I'm going to move in a different direction because I was going to say Messier, but I've always said him one best NHL plays. But I'm going to go with who, of course, I was young, but watching everything and the different stuff. Muhammad Ali.
Oh, great pick. Great pick. I watched him the other day. The Rumble in the Jungle with George Foreman. That was something. The rope a dope, Dougie. Have you heard of the rope a dope?
The rope a dope.
So what you got, Dougie?
I'm going this guy right here.
Tommy Brady.
Tommy, Gun, TB12, whatever you want to call him. It's just, how do you not? I mean, I understand how you don't love the guy, but so good. He made everybody else around him. I just awesome.
So with Brady, I had this I loved him when he was young.
You want Brady, Dougie?
Brady, yeah.
I went Brady, yeah.
I know he's a no doubter.
But with Brady, I loved him when he was young. He was the underdog guy that got it done, and he was smooth and this and that. Then he became like the GQ guy, and he lost me for a while. But then when he got older, he just still had it. He still was a winner.
Well, do you think that was him or his now ex-wife?
Yeah, it's definitely his ex-wife. But I'm saying he became TB12, and I didn't like that. But I like the fact that he stuck with it. At 40-something years old, he's still arguably the best player in the league. And they win the Super Bowl with Tampa. You'll never see that again. You'll never see.
No.
Again.
Like I say, he made everybody else better around him. Do you think Julian Edelman would have had the career that he had if TB12 wasn't throwing to him? If you took Edelman and threw him on I don't even know, the Raiders, you would have been a nobody.
Yeah, but you could say that about a lot. You could also say those guys made Brady better too. I mean, I think Peyton Manning wouldn't have minded throwing to Julian Edelman, or Wes Welker, or Manny Moss, or Troy Brown.
Or Gronk.
I mean, Troy Brown was great before with Bledsoe,
Right.
He did. I don't think Gronkowski would have struggled.
No.
But no, Brady's Brady. He's a freak. He's unbelievable. I agree, Coach. I got a little tired of him too. It was just too much Giselle shit. The fake hair.
Yeah, the dimples. I think he had a little work done on the dimples.
Face work.
They dug it out here a little bit.
Loved him when he was young. but he won a lot of games. So what I care was Tommy Gunn.
That's right.
I loved him.
He's the most clutch player.
He's a winner, and I got to be considering. Gumby's got to be one of the most ridiculously dedicated athletes in the history of all of sports.
No question.
To do what he did at that position.
So my last guy is, I think if he was playing today, he'd be just as dominant as he was then. Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
Because he was big and he was unbelievably skilled. His hands were incredible. And if he was playing today, I think he'd be putting up the same numbers.
He might put up more this time because you can't touch anybody anymore.
True. I don't think Gretzky would be as effective as he was, but I think Lemieux would be. Yeah,
I think Gretzky would still be a play, but Lemieux, size, power. Right. But the thing is, you take away every time you slap someone's stick, it's a penalty.
Right.
I mean, if you would have drawn. They were showing the highlight last time when he single-handedly beat that Bruins team in the conference to the final. It was like they just couldn't. Great guys couldn't play with him.
No.
I mean, he was a freak.
He was. He didn't have the McDavid speed, but he had unbelievable skill. And the guy, he could put it in from anywhere.
He could move.
And I actually think that he is part of the reason why Crosby was as good as he was. Because Crosby started with him. And saw how, how he was with the skills and all that stuff. So,
I'm going to finish because we talk about the Detroit Lions. And I always loved them going back to his days at Oklahoma State. Barry Sanders.
Yes.
One-man gang. It was him and Walter Payton in that division.
Love Walter Payton.
Unbelievable.
Doug, you going to bring us home, kid?
Big Poppy.
Love it. Great pick.
Great one. Yeah.
Yes.
Crowd favorite, clutch. The speech he gave after the Boston Marathon, just
talk about
everybody loves the guy. Like, how do you not love the guy?
Well, he embraced the town. He embraced the spotlight. He embraced being a leader of that team. He made him better. And that guy was the ultimate champion. Loved him.
But what he did, and I don't think you could maybe go to Reggie Jackson, but
no, Jackson did it in the World Series, but he did it.
But what he did to even get them through is absolutely unheard of. Absolutely unheard of.
There we go.
All right, that's what we didn't touch base on. We're gonna have to go to the next one, talk about Hall of Fame inductions. We don't have time for it now.
No. Well, there we go. Episode 74.
Not being unanimous.
Episode 74 in the book. Stop it.
In the books.
This is trying to steal the charcuterie board.
Oh, no. Guy wants some salami.
Yeah. So anyway, episode 74 in the books. Get it up.
All right.
More gold.
Come back. We didn't get entertainment in, but we'll have to get one in, maybe a pre-Super Bowl.
Oh, we might want to get one in before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, yeah. So we'll be back in touch. Enjoy the games this weekend, everybody. And Doug, we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
All right.